Just over 12 months ago, Genesis revealed the GV80 Coupe concept in New York. It marked a turning point for the brand, moving away from traditional luxury sedans and SUVs and into niche areas of the market to directly chase the likes of the BMW X6 and Mercedes-Benz GLE Coupe. Its bright orange paint was also the first hint of the Magma performance sub-brand that Genesis revealed in New York this year. While Genesis globally has confirmed that it will do Magma variants of all of its models in the future, nothing has been locked in for Australia just yet. Even so, in the meantime, the GV80 Coupe is being positioned as a sportier alternative to the SUV. And now it's arrived down under as part of the updated GV80 SUV lineup. It's a significantly slimmed down range for 2024, with Genesis Australia deciding to focus on a more premium offering to try and attract a more upmarket clientele. The biggest change is under the bonnet, where the previously available V6 turbo diesel and 2.5 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engines have been dropped, and instead the GV80 range is now powered exclusively by Genesis's 3.5 litre turbocharged V6 engine. It's good for 279 kilowatts of power and 530 newton meters of torque. One catch for this more premium lineup is obviously you're going to pay more, so prices are up across the range, with the GV80 SUV starting at $130,000 and the Coupe starting from $136,000. The Coupe will be exclusively available with 5 seats, while the SUV will have the option of either a 6-seat layout or a 7-seat, depending on how many people you need to bring with you. Let's make one thing perfectly clear from the get-go. Even though the GV80 Coupe was launched as a bit of a soft preview of this new Magma sub-brand that Genesis is going to launch, this is going to be their performance answer to BMW M or Mercedes AMG. This car is not that. This is very much, despite some sporty touches, it's very much still more of a luxury car rather than a performance car in any way, shape or form. Once you understand that, you can appreciate the GV80 Coupe for what it is. What I like about this updated GV80 is the fact that it does feel very premium. This new push from Genesis to just focus on offering fully loaded version does make a bit of sense. If you want to get a Genesis, the chances are you've made that decision for a reason and you're not really that interested in, penny pinching at that point. You want a premium vehicle. So Genesis is offering, a lot of technology. In front of me, I've got this huge 27-inch OLED display. This is not like, you might think it's like what you find in a Hyundai, which is 2 screens stuck together. You actually find that in a lot of cars these days. This is not. This is one singular display that runs all the way across. What I've got in front of me is the instrument display, and then it continues over. It actually integrates at certain points, depending on the display you're using, it actually integrates. The map can actually bleed into the instrument panel. It's also got, in this version right now that I'm driving, the augmented reality, so I can actually see where the car is in the lane. If I veer out of the lane, it starts to give me a red light. It's clever tech. It does also have incredibly annoying tech, which is the latest Hyundai, Kia, Genesis group, driver attention systems, which I have turned off, because if I hadn't turned them off, you might think I'm swearing a lot because there'd be a lot of beeps. But basically, if you go 1 kilometre over the speed limit, it will beep at you, which is actually quite handy, particularly we're in Victoria. Not everyone's a hoon. It is important to obey the law and stick to the speed limit, but it can get a bit annoying at times, the constant beeping. The bigger issue for me is the driver attention beeps, which frankly are nearly incessant at times. If you take your eyes off the road for a second, even to adjust something on this very complex display, you'll find the car wants to beep at you and tell you to pay more attention, even though you are trying to pay attention. But they've put this giant screen in front of you, so there's a little bit of a juxtaposition there in what Genesis has done. But again, I gotta say, I love the tech. We drove it today on the freeway. It's got pretty good mild autonomous functionality. It will drive down the freeway, it can maintain the distance. It actually now has the ability to change lanes. If you use the indicator, it can actually safely move you from one lane to the next. So what Genesis is offering is a lot of technology. They're offering you all the premium experience that you want in a luxury car that you'd normally, have traditionally found in a BMW or a Mercedes. Well, now Genesis is competing there with everything those guys have to offer. And then the next step in that is the actual presentation of the cabin. I really like the layout of the cabin and the materials, the trims. The GV80 Coupe has this carbon fiber inlay. It's got quilted leather, diamond pattern leather seats. You've got options. You've got multiple options in terms of seat color, the leather color, the stitching. That's the focus, right? By trimming the lineup and getting rid of the diesel engine, getting rid of the 2.5 petrol, they've allowed us customers to say, well, what I really want is something that feels a bit special, something that feels like it belongs to me. It's got my preference in terms of the colors used, the fit and finish. And that really does feel like it pushes Genesis up another level in terms of that overall quality. As for how it drives, well, like I say, this isn't the sporty version. It's meant to be more luxurious, and it is a perfectly nice SUV to drive. The V6 has got decent power, it feels strong on the open road, it's quiet and refined around town, it does a good job. The ride, it's okay. It's not the best ride in a luxury SUV. It could be. It's sort of neither here nor there. It's not super compliant. It's not the plushest ride I've ever been in, but nor is it the sportiest or the more dynamic edge. But overall, it just, you're left with the impression that this is a perfectly nice luxury SUV, but nothing more. It doesn't really stand out from the crowd, and that's sort of the challenge that Genesis faces, is trying to really separate itself, and that's pushed towards luxury, pushed towards customization, pushed towards the technology, and as a result, the driving experience is good without being anything really wow. It doesn't really grab you and say you must buy this over anything else. So there's still lessons to be learned for the brand, but this is, for me, overall, it's another step forward. Only time will tell if Genesis Australia's new strategy will pay off. But at the very least, the arrival of the GV80 Coupe does give buyers a new choice, and that can only be a good thing for those looking for their next luxury vehicle, especially if you don't want something from Germany.